Hey yo pretty people, my name is ZloyXP and welcome back to the Unity SMP. Friends, in the previous episode we started working on a killing chamber using witches of all things to get rid of unnecessary villagers we'll be getting, but at the same time I feel properly drained on villagers now. And I hope that you guys do excuse me for not following up on that promise, on that thing in today's video. I don't feel like dealing with nosed menaces today. Of any kind, be it witches, be it villagers, be it zombie villagers on top of my bookshop roof. I just frankly don't care anymore. I want a break, and a break I shall get. Today, instead, we will get back to our actual overground part of the base, and we will work some more on its facade, on figuring out the visual and interesting parts of it. We have an entire section of it to plan out. We have the roof of it to finish building. We have two walls that need to be finally completed all the way to the top. There's a lot of work there. But before we do any of that, I also want to kind of drop some of my own responsibility on some unsuspecting poor person. You see, recently Animus has told me in privacy on Discord that he would actually be interested in getting mending books from me instead of the villagers that I promised him some time ago. Now, truth be told, to strengthen our alliance at one point, I actually had the idea that if I ever get a second librarian that will sell me mending, I will give one of my librarians to him as this generous sign of our alliance in this world. And yes, alliances are very much a thing right now happening on the server. There is the Unity Elite thing, thing that nobody knows who is a part of, and I'm pretty sure Carrie, well, Android Miner, and Jim, but I don't know if anybody else, and I'm pretty sure Animus is actually on their tail, currently trying to figure out how to deal with them. So you kinda are picking up here what I'm putting down, right? If we want to survive in this rapidly changing landscape, we need ourselves some alliances of our own. We need to get our head into this little roleplay game, or else we'll just get left with no allies and we'll just end up exploited. So, you might be asking right now, why then am I not writing this all into a book right about now and sending Animus another offer he can't refuse, like we did with the Android Miner? Well, truth of the matter is that I just don't have any ink sacks. Yep, I'm all ink sacked out, and we need to get some. Now, we could in theory buy some from Android Miner's fishing shack if they are still, sorry, hiccups, still, oh, hiccups, sorry. If they are still on sale. But to do that, of course, we would need to meet her ridiculous pricing policy, which is like 1 diamond for a lot. So let's see the profits of the Depth Strider free shop that we started the other day. And boop! And 4 diamonds, well, technically 5 because there's another one in here, but we'll leave it be for now. That will be enough, I hope, to buy me at least 1 ink sack, although, truth be told, that's like the bit about me. I'm really generous with money when it comes to things I really need right now. So that's how it kind of... And someone covered the houses of members who have not played in a while in cobwebs. Okay, I see how it is. But yeah, that's kind of how I am with money in general. If I actually need something, I will usually pay any price to get it right here, right now. So yeah, here in game, I especially have no reason not to basically waste all my money on random stuff. Okay, let's see. Enchanted rods, Nautilus shells, name tags and saddles, fish and bottled water, prices in book and quill. Don't tell me she doesn't actually have any ink sacks for sale. Fish, saddle, enchanted fish, nautilus shell, name tags, normal fishing rod, bottled water, fish. Well, she might have lost a customer here. I am, however, pretty much interested in nautilus shells, so let's get ourselves some of that. Nautilus shells, 20 iron or 3 diamonds per one. Good thing I have an iron farm, isn't it? Okay, here you go. Yoinked 2 nautilus shells, and name tags are 15 iron per one. So name tags. Don't have any. Don't have any. What kind of shop is it? Android Miner, restock your thing. You're losing a lot of potential iron here. Not diamonds though. I don't feel like, you know, spending diamonds on this one. Now, it is unfortunate that we didn't get any ink sacks, so we can't really write a fancy book to our friend. But we don't really need, because you see, request 1 mending book if acceptable. And we have a new shipment, a brand new shipment of bone bones. Bone bones, except, you know, not actual bone bones, but not the sweet stuff, but actually bony stuff. Well then, we happen to have more than that, and I'm guessing we could deliver one to his place easily right about now. Will a sign be enough to express all of our feelings? Well, it just so happens that it probably will, because in Bedrock Edition you can actually apply colors to signs too. So yeah, I will have no problem expressing my, well, inner creativity. So yeah, we can actually embrace my inner child and write with crayons if we really want to. And as per usual, when we're delivering something to Animus, we'll just place it randomly in the middle of his room. Yeah. He seems like a nice place. Boop, bam, and boom. And now, to figure out something to write. Your bonds payment helped me set up a villager sorter and get much more. Essentially all I can say about this conundrum, really. Now to return to my base and start working on the facade of it. Since, yeah, that's basically what we'll be doing in this episode. It is kind of funny to me how, thanks to just this one mending trade, we currently have Android Miner on the interiors and Animus on the functional bit of the villager, like librarian sorter right now. But whatever, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with either of that. My one problem there is that I maybe wouldn't want Android Miner too close to my secret stuff. So once she's done her part of the job, I might just change the way you enter the area, and maybe even set up a trap in the way that I'll be using to show her the way. Basically to prevent her from entering the base without my specific permission or without my supervision. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea, generally. Let's continue this little thing that we're doing, shall we? Okay, to the matter at hand. First we'll have to finish this wall, raise it all the way up to the iron farm. It's not a big deal, really. It's like less about actually just doing it and more about decorating it so it doesn't look too plain. Also, it is actually about decorating it so it doesn't look too plain, while at the same time not giving golems any more spaces to spawn at, because they keep spawning on the walls themselves. I actually had to cover them in half slabs. So yeah, that would be not too much of the trouble, not at all, except for, you know, walking on a high altitude, seeing how I keep friggin' falling on my ankles, breaking my stupid legs. It is very impressive to me that I can run at this point at all. Second on the agenda is getting rid of this giant forehead that the base basically has. And when I say getting rid of it, I don't actually mean setting it on fire. I actually mean just breaking it up. We need to break it up tiny bit here and there. We need to continue the split in the middle. First of all, continue the split in the middle. So we'll have 2 windows somewhere here and here. Maybe 2 more here, and 2 teeny tiny ones here and here. That will basically split it enough visually to still keep it interesting, even despite not having like too much going for this particular slope. So yeah, that might actually finish it up for us. We still will have the remaining 4th wall as plain as ever. That will be a bit of a problem for now. But it will remain a problem until we figure out how to, how to decorate this long part of the entire thing. And if we have any time for it today, I will definitely get on that too. So yeah, we have our walk cut off for us. Let's just do it, shall we? In the best tradition of Nike footwear. You get my point. Let's just place blocks. And this is where we enter a super amazing thing that I came up with, and a lot of people also probably came up with, but whatever. Let's pretend that I'm the one who imagined it for the first time on this channel, at the very least. Friends, let me introduce you to the blueprint mode. I only used this feature once on this channel, and it's not really a feature, but it's a thing that I do. And what we're doing here is we're taking a little bit of an advantage of the fact that I do in fact have a pen tablet on this PC. So we press F1, we press print screen, and we take a screenshot of what we're looking at. And instead of planning stuff out in creative and, taking some valuable time off of the episode recording, we instead go into some sort of a, good place to AFK, log off from the server entirely, and launch the program I'm using to draw. Paint tool freaking sigh. Yep, we're gonna currently do what they do with actual architecture. We're gonna draw it first and build it later. Boom, baby! Now we're opening a brand new layer. We're getting our pen and we're beginning to basically sketch around. You can see that I already blown out the brightness of the thing, so it will be a tiny bit easier for us to orient ourselves. So where generally visually does this story here end? Well, basically let's put it, let's say it's up here. Let's split the remaining into 2 more stories. And truth be told, this might be not the best way to split it. Let's actually move this level right here, and perhaps maybe even move this one higher. So the general rule of freeze does apply, and the general golden rule does apply too. If you don't know, it's I struggle to understand it myself, truth be told, and I also struggle to explain it, because I struggle to understand it myself. But basically, the human brain, the human mind, does not find this progression beautiful. The progression our human mind finds fascinating is basically spiral, the golden spiral, or alternatively this type of deal. Right now, this line we find much more interesting, much more eye-catching, which is why we cannot make all 3 stories here the same size. They have to be a declining size and not on a direct decline. So if we do another layer here, and we do a mock-up of our window, right? Then the window size, actually, let me just address this here and there. Then the window size will have to be progressing. No, wait. Here, progressing from this here, right? From this point to this here on the next story, to this here on the next one. Basically, this being the scale of the size of the window, and this being the number of the story. So what does that leave us with? Well, we have this on this size of 1, this of the size of actually it would be like this on the size of 1, this on the size of say 5, and this on the size of say 3, which none of this does matter because we're actually eyeballing it entirely. We will not be doing any calculations beyond the ones that I just showcased because I'm a lazy bastard, and frankly, it is Minecraft. Who gives? Who cares? Seriously. Okay, so we have these windows which look borderline tiny compared to what we're about to come up with here. So we do this, maybe even lower, tiny bit lower. And I'm guessing that the usual cross on the window frame is what we can go for here without any trouble. Now, this store will have obviously a very high ceiling, judging by this, by the size of the window. So we will have to be aware of that. And also it will have to have some sort of a bevel to it. We will have to outline the window using either stone bricks, cobblestone, basically something gray, or this color here, because it is one of our 3 colors we're constantly using for this project. So the 3 colors being dark brown, brown, and this beige type of deal. And I'm thinking that maybe just regular brown of the oak planks would fit better, just because the beige is the color we're using for the insides, for the walls, for that kind of stuff. So next we do a window like this, and of course a window like this, a teeny tiny one compared to the rest of them. And yeah, wouldn't you say this looks already pretty awesome? Wouldn't you? Now, one thing we could try too would be making sloped windows like this, basically creating teeny facades inside of a bigger facade. And you might notice that this already once again looks much more interesting to you compared to the straight you know, angled ones. It also fits in much better, seeing how this line here is not a straight one, it is actually curved. And this line is basically a straight one, but it is being curved thanks to the greenery. These here are the only proper lines we're using in this build. Heck, even here we have a curve, right? Like here we have a double curve because of the border between the roof itself and the background, and the border between the front level of the roof and the back level of the roof. So if all that made any sense to you, and if all that also like seems like something we could probably realize within the game, I say let's just go for it. After all, it is much more fun when you're building with only a semblance of a plan, kind of winging it as you go, while at the same time the risk of it looking terrible as a result is always very high, so we'll have to account for that too. So, oak for the outlines, dark oak for the general roof filling, and maybe we'll use some of the beige clay for this area down here, but don't count on it, I might just settle for window frames. And also, you know what? I also might add a giant robotic arm that will be powered by the power of literal sky lighting with a dinosaur T-Rex hand for a hand. Well, it's not the cross shape of the frame that I promised you, since this thing had to be even in the middle. But whatever, I'm fine. I like it. I really like it. The problem is that it doesn't look as good in close as it is from a distance, and I'm actually don't know that just yet because I haven't looked at it from a distance, because I just now have built it for the first time. So let's quickly boop, 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 down there. That shall be enough to carry us over. Careful, careful, careful. There we go. And from the some time away, the big reveal. Yeah, it looks nice. The contrast is tiny bit kind of too much, I think, but not necessarily too much. I might swap the oak for spruce, because everywhere else we're using spruce for the framing of the windows. So maybe that's why it kind of looks like a bit of an oddball in the general feel of the house. But other than that, I'm quite happy with it, and the shape is really good. The shape is really good, I feel. I think though that it might get twice bigger and not suffer from it at all. And if we can make an even a way bigger window, meaning that we will have to make less windows overall, we should probably do that. So let's do that. And this is what we're looking at. 2 windows, but actually it is visually looking like 4 windows because of the additional separating lines. These work, in my opinion, very good here to basically balance out the overall vertical dynamic, and we will actually have even more of that once we add some foliage on top of the little window. They're not window sills, because window sills are on the inside and on the outside, but not on the on top of them. To the bevel, to the spruce wood, we will add some green foliage like we did with the underside of the underbelly of the balcony. Now, one must ask, of course, himself, what would you how would you justify having these giant windows in your room? Because frankly, as someone who's sitting here in a balcony right now in real life, in my balcony recording studio, at 25 to 30 degrees in summer, Celsius of course, in summer, I'm kind of not loving the big window that I have to the left of me. The sun is a tiny bit of a joke to me right now, but hey, I mean, curtains are a thing, so I guess we can kind of be alright with that, with having such big windows. And at the same time, it would actually help to have this as not maybe an observatory, because observatory would be just on the top of it, but maybe as some sort of a ballroom or a library where you actually would love to have more light inside of it, just for the, you know, fancies, for the grandeur of it. Although, really, if you haven't guests, having them go all the way to the 3rd or 4th story just to have a ball is tiny bit of a joke move, especially if somebody on the 2nd story is trying to sleep. But whatever, this is my house. I'll put my ballroom wherever I want. Thank you very much. Although maybe putting a giant shaft for the golems to fall through in the middle of it might be a bit of a stupid thing to do. So now we had to copy that what we just built, not 1 time but 3 times, and as per usual, I'm leaving the copying to the behind the scenes walk. We will be walking on this side either on a stream or behind the scenes entirely between the episodes. I really just want to finish the other side of it for today. And I hope that you guys are alright with that, because you're not really missing anything by not seeing a fully assembled house by the end of this episode. But at the same time, it's pretty cool anyway, right? And also, yeah, bad news, guys. Just want to announce it right now. We don't have the budget for the T-Rex hand just now. We might... you'd think that with the new trident enchant that allows you to fly through rain, I would be much more loving it. But nope, not even slightly. This is friggin' ridiculous. I just want to see the final thing, the final shot of this. And to do so, I not only have to come this close to look at it, I also have to pillar up like a crazy maniac. And it wouldn't be such a problem if the block lag wouldn't cause me to sometimes fall off the pillar that I'm pillaring. So let's look at this. What'd you say? I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. but at the same time I do admit that the windows currently look ridiculously empty inside. They do need something about them changed on the inner side, and really I feel like that will come when all walls of our house will be walled up and all the floors will be floored too. Currently we don't have that because obviously this is more about looking pretty on the outside than looking good on the inside, and also there's a golem there. I'll have to get even higher and knock him back into the into the farm bit. But yeah, this is what we're looking for not looking for. This is what we're looking at, and this is what I'm kind of liking to look at. I'm quite happy again with this outcome, and this is as close to my original vision as basically it's gonna get. After all, this is but Minecraft, and we only have blocks to work with. So yeah, to a degree, this is the most I can make of it. Now, till the next episode, I will have to mirror this on the other side. And also, maybe finally sketch up something for this area here too. But for now, that's gonna be it for today's episode. Once again, guys, sorry if this one is a tiny bit shorter or at the very least not as content-packed as usual. I'm still adjusting, and the freaking temperature on my recording setup is absolutely unbearable. So yeah, let's hope that next episode will have more progress done, especially with the community wither fight that is currently on the planning stage in the Unity SMP. That's right, we are about to have our first wither fought all together, and I'm not ready for it at all, so we better get some equipment. With that being said, thank you everybody once more so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, do leave a like. If you are not subscribed yet, do subscribe so you won't miss the next episodes. This has been ZloyXP, this has been Unity SMP. To be continued. Have a good one. See you later. Bye bye.